Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Hawa Shai, Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Hawa Shai, Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Hawa Shai. Blessed be the true, holy, powerful, and mighty name of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. And blessed be the true, holy, powerful, and mighty name of His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai, our Lord and our Savior. That Thamashanakai lies a Kumin Shar Sharala, get double honors to the elders of Israel, being the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that rule well. And Shalom Wahabla Bakir Shar Yasharala, which is peace and love to the elect of Israel. Come back at y'all again with another lesson. Baruch HaKodesh Shah Amaf and the Holy Spirit of Truth. And the title of this video is going to be something along the lines of a crash where people are going to be begging for food. And I get that quote from this YouTube page called Full Spectrum Survival. All right, and this you see the guy on the screen. It's his channel, and he goes into a whole bunch of different things that's going on specifically here in the U.S. and also around the world. I'm going to just play the clip and get the quote from him, and then we're going to hop into the precepts.
Maxed out. They'll drop it off. They'll say, you know what, I'm going to claim bankrupt. I'm sorry. So they give up all of that debt. Well, that adds to the creditors. Now, the creditors who the government will bail out, they don't make as much money. And so the government says, you know what, oh, well, we're not going to bail you out as much as we would because we don't see you recovering as quickly. We don't see getting our money back. So there's some back and forth there. There is going to be a large crash in our future. And I'm talking a crash that shows visible change. I'm not talking a $50 change at the grocery store. I'm not talking a $14 change, 14% change in your rent. I'm talking a crash where people are begging each other for food. That day is coming. It happens all over the world. We see it all over the world happen in other countries. But it doesn't happen here yet.
I had to get that last part out. It hasn't happened here yet. All right, but it's soon to come, and it's going to happen very, very soon. A crash of this broken economy. America is in heavy debt, leading me to my first scripture. This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6. I'll start up. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right, and that's what we're doing. We're making it plain. We're doing, starting with the apostles and the elders, we're doing the work. We're going into the articles, right, and lining it up with the prophecy. Scripture say in the book of 2 Esdras, the 9th chapter, measured out a time diligently in itself. You have videos of brothers, all right, in Great Millstone doing just that. Showing you, making it plain that we are in the end. The end is come, as it says in Ezekiel, the end is come, the end is come, and watch ye for thee. Evil and only evil, behold, is come. Verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. The vision is speaking, the prophecies is speaking. It's jumping right off the page. Everything that's happening in the earth today is all subject to the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. People like to say, oh, that was biblical times. Biblical times is still in full effect. All right. The Lord declared the end from the beginning, and we're in the end. And that's why we see these visions, these prophecies, these signs all coming into fruition. But at the end it shall speak. It says that in the book of 1 Peter 4 and 7. The end of all things is at hand. We're at the end of Esau, Edom's world. And soon Jacob's kingdom is soon to be established when Yahweh Shai makes his return. All right, and really spiritually, it's already being erected. Okay, the tabernacles of David is being rebuilt. The scripture said that the Lord has gathered his holy ones by the the Lord has gathered his sons by the word of his holy one. By the word Salakia. Let me just read it, man. It just blew me. Baruch 4. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and Baruch chapter 4 and verse 37. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of Yahweh. So the Lord is gathering his sons. And like Yahweh Shai said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So we are being built up now. The kingdom of heaven is being built up spiritually, and it's going to manifest itself physically when our King, our Lord, and our Savior, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, makes his return. And that day is approaching very, very quickly. It says in the book of Luke, the 18th chapter, shall not the Lord avenge his very elect which cry day and night? Yea, he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, shall he find faith on the earth. So he's gonna come. He's coming speedily as a thief in the night. And when he comes, he's looking for the ones that remain faithful through this crash, through this economic collapse, through the persecution that's going to come to the Lord's people, all right, to all of Israel, Jacob's trouble, right? The ones that endure unto the end, those are the ones that he's going to deliver. As it says in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world, and then shall the end come. He that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. All right. As it also says in the book of Revelations, the 2nd chapter, he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, the same shall get power over the nations. All right. So it says back in Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3 again, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is, but Slaki, I'm reading a little bit too fast. Let's go back to that 4th verse and harp on that. Really, the end of verse 3 says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Ain't no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Don't try to, hey, like a wise man once told me, right? The elder Ariella out there in Dallas. He said, don't try to time the end of the world. Okay? Don't try to time the end of the world. And that's really a powerful statement, because you got a lot of jakes, that like to procrastinate. We would have been there if we haven't tarried, as I think Judas said it, or it could have been Jacob. Even Lot was lingering, right? Even Lot was lingering, and the angels had to hurry up and rush him out. So, all right, so we can't be procrastinating when it comes to our salvation, man. Okay, because all this is about to happen. It's not gonna just be. We're not gonna just keep going year after year after year, and life is just going on as it has been. Okay. We're coming. We've reached the end of the road for this world. Okay, it's about to be a changing of power, and we want to be those ones that's in rulership. We want to be the ones that's joint heirs with Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So we have to be on our job. We, keyword, all caps. All right. It says, verse 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." That's how we. That's what we living off of. All right, we living purely off of faith, man. Okay, Jake be going through all type of different shit, and we just lean upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. We stay. He's our stay. He's our trust. He's our shield and our buckler. Right? It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth that home. Who enlargeth his desire as hell." Is going into this devil, right? He transgresses by wine, his philosophies, his wicked ways, his democracy, right? It says he is a proud man, and pride goeth before destruction. His destruction is right around the corner. Neither keepeth at home. He can't sit his ass still. He got the whole world in his hands, and he's experimenting on rats and monkeys, making diseases, polluting the air, polluting the water, polluting the food, being a straight up pedophile, right? As it's going to say, the soul. We already read it. Verse 4. The soul that is lifted up is not upright in him. This devil is off. Okay. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth that home. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied." Salakia enlargeth his desire as hell and as death. Hell, when you go into that word, it means the grave, right? And is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. The grave is never like, okay, that's enough niggas. All right, there's too many niggas. Can't nobody die today. I need a break. Right? It can't be satisfied. That's the same as Esau Edom. Okay, he's unsatiable. He's the most covetous man there is, and as it says in the book of Sirach, the 10th chapter, there's nothing more wicked than a covetous man. It says, "And heapeth unto him all people." Here's the point. Verse 6, it says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay." That ladeth himself with thick clay. You go into that word thick clay. All right, it's the Hebrew word ibatya, which means heavy debt. And this devil is in heavy debt. Okay? And all they're doing is keep adding on debt. Right? Which is going to lead to hyperinflation. Okay? To the point where you go to the grocery store and you spend $300 for groceries, right? You got a full cart, everything you need, $300. The next week, the very next week, you go back, Get the same exact items. Now you're spending $325, right? Then you go back the next month, same exact items. Now you're spending $425. This is what we're going to see, and it's going to happen speedily. The Lord said, I beheld Satan cast down as lightning. So it's going to go down fast. So we have to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. All right. So let's go from there to the book of because he said that there's going to be a crash. Salakia, brother's calling me. Shalom, Amak. I'm in a lesson right now. I'm going to hit you back after. It's all good. All right, shalom. All right, so the title of this video is Prepare for Starvation, right? Prepare for starvation. And he mentioned, and I quote, a huge crash is coming where people are going to be begging for food. All right, and we went into that Habakkuk showing you that this place is trillions. If you look it up, this place is trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. It can't return from that. Going back to the prophecy, who laded himself with thick clay, heavy debt. All right. And they've just been printing more money. It's called quantitative easing, right? Where they just print money and print money and print money, which is devaluing the dollar. Soon the dollar is not going to have any value. Now, when the dollar loses all of its value, what are they going to do next? They're going to set up the new currency. And that new currency is going to be digital, where you will be required to get a microchip in your body so that you can buy and sell, as it says in the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter. We're in biblical times. Goofy. All right. You better go ask somebody. All right. Now is the time to seek Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai so we can escape the said peril. So let's go into the prophecy. 2nd Esdras chapter 16. Matter of fact, I'm low-key tired of seeing this dude on the screen. Second Esdras, is it 16? Let me look at my sword. Let me look at my dagger real quick. My Apocrypha. Second Esdras chapter 16. Verse, yep, I'm right there. That's exactly where I want to be. 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. These are the times that we're coming into. These times are so gruesome that Esdras was like, who is going to deliver me in those days? I believe it was Habakkuk. He said, I pray that I rest in them days. He said, I pray that I'm not on the earth, that I'm in the spiritual realm in them days. The time of Jacob's trouble, a time like never before, as it says in Jeremiah, as it says in the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, roughly paraphrasing. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. A lot of people is going to die. That nigga that you went to middle school with, right? Your homeboy that you went to middle school with, dead, right? Your high school sweetheart, more than likely, she's going to perish, right? Your favorite cousin, if he's not in this truth, dead, right? Only the elect is going to be sheltered in the times that we are coming into. And what is the elect doing? Scripture in the book of Colossians put on as the elect. What is the elect doing? The elect is serving Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai in truth and sincerity. As it says in the book of John, the 4th chapter, the hour come and now is where the true worshiper shall worship him in spirit and in truth. Okay? Having faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, as we read in the Habakkuk, the just, which is another name for the elect, shall live by faith. Because without faith, it's impossible to please him. And he that cometh to the Most High Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars. All right, got all these people testing missiles, all these different militaries testing ballistic missiles, because that's the times that we're coming into. Everything's all the prophecies is popping like popcorn, as the prophets, as the apostles say. And the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, which is bad times, and the Lord is sending these bad times. So if we want to escape these bad times, we must be on Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's good side, doing everything that we can to please him. It says in the book of Amos, that shall the trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord has not done it? The Lord is bringing these evils. In the book of Jeremiah 11 chapter, he said, I'll bring an evil upon you which you shall not be able to escape. It says, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So the Lord is sending these different plagues. He's sending famine, tribulation, and anguish and death. Why? As scourges, punishment for amendment, for correction. Right? Because this world, the whole world lieth in wickedness. But for all these, they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And look at 2020. Everybody was fucked up. Everybody was scared. Everybody was nervous. Niggas thought they was woke, right? Everybody was acting spiritual and like they knew something. Now look at these niggas. Now the clubs is back open up. Now you can go to a concert and you can go to damn Disneyland and watch a basketball game. Now niggas is right back to sleep. Really, they never woke up. All they did was turn over in the bed, man. Okay, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth. And it seems like that. So let me finish it out. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Niggas is balling out, man. All right, them unemployment boys, all right, making money. Got all these different loans and doing all these different scams and shit without even having to work. Niggas think shit is sweet. Niggas think shit is good, right? They think themselves to be in a good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, shall perish of starvation. And that's a gruesome death. I believe it's in Lamentations, it said, be better to die by the sword than to die by famine. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. It says in the book of Amos, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light, a day of gloominess, and there is no light in it. As if a man fled from a lion and a bear met him, barely escaped the bear, ran into the house, leaned his hand upon the wall, and a serpent bit him, showing you that if one of these plagues don't get you, the other one is. And if the other one don't get you, the third one's going to get your ass, man. It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung. All right, carcasses everywhere. Okay? Dead carcasses everywhere. And there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. The cities is about to be cast down. Ain't gonna be no more partying and bullshitting, man. Ain't gonna be no more live events. It's not gonna be no more sporting events, basketball, football, all that other boxing. All the bread and circuses is coming to an end. All right? So let's go from there. There's another one. Second Esdras. I'm looking at my sword. Baba Kushabra with me. Yep, I'm gonna go back. Damn. I have to start up. Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe, meaning death, destruction, sorrow, is coming to this world. For the sword, famine, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. The sword and destruction is coming, man. Great death, as we was reading in the other chapter, famine, okay, plagues, anguish, tribulation, is all coming. Okay, it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Complete division. All right, complete division, race wars, class wars. Okay, verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Sedition, uprising, right? Invading one another. We seen all the looting that was happening in 2020. Niggas is used to that. Niggas is ready to do that. And that's in the green tree. How much more when the tree is dry? As it says in the Gospels. Green tree meaning what? When you could still go to the store and there's still food in there. When niggas wasn't even starving and they was breaking into Target and all these different businesses. Okay? How much more when a nigga's hungry, when his stomach touching his back, when his baby crying, talking about daddy feed me, when his woman crying, right? Begging him to find some fucking food, man. It's not going to be no friends in them days. It says that in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. The love of many shall wax cold. It says, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. It's going to be like a purge, right? Niggas is going to lose it. It's going to be more shutdowns. All right? Because when the shutdowns happen, people is going to uprise. When the lockdowns happen, people is going to go crazy and lose it, right? They're going to try to so-called fight for their rights back. Because this devil doing a shutdown is taking away people's livelihood, the way they make their money, the way they feed their family and keep a roof over their heads. The government is destroying that for a fake, for a fake pestilence. Let me see. Sirach chapter 34 and verse 22. It says, he that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder. So Esau, Edom doing these lockdowns, which is what? Taking away the living, people's livelihood. That's them they're killing them. Now you have no money to buy food. Now that's taking away all your freedom. Right? Now you're forced to comply in order to eat. You're forced to comply in order to survive. All right? But the Lord is going to take care of his servants. So back in 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So martial law is going to happen. Okay? Everybody's going to lose it, right? Go crazy. Then they're going to bring the troops in. The boots is going to hit the ground. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Like that 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, it says that the city shall be desolate. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, so fuck neighbors, fuck how long we live live next to each other. I'm hungry. My children's hungry. There's no way I can get food. If you got food in there, people is gonna, it don't matter how close you are, how many barbecues you had, how many game nights y'all had, how many times y'all went bowling. All that shit's gonna go out the window when the crash happens, when people start to beg for food. Okay? And it's gonna get people are gonna get real primal or primitive in them days, right? When you don't eat, your animalistic instincts start to kick in. All right? After 5 days of fasting, all your senses become heightened. Like your eyesight, your smell, your hearing, all those senses become heightened because your body is going into survival mode, so it's looking for food. Okay? So people is going to be able to sniff out some food, man. This nigga got bread. This bitch got bread in her purse. A group of niggas, right? This nigga got peaches. I know this nigga don't got no peaches. And it's not going to be no pity, right? And around the world, a lot of people is used to, a lot of different countries is used to this type of this type of situation, for lack of better words. All right? It's typical in third world countries. These American people, they're not ready for it. If you go back and watch that video, he was going into that, how these people been spoon-fed, for lack of better words. Everything is given over to these Americans. You get instant gratification. You're hungry, go to McDonald's. Get a burger instantly for $1, right? You hungry, put that shit in the McDonald's, put a TV dinner in the microwave. 3 minutes, you grubbing on some GMO food. All that's going to be stripped. Okay, it says that in the book Isaiah 47, thou that dwellest carelessly, right? And the judgment is going to come upon this place in perfection, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, this place is entitled. It's been living delicately, right? So it's going to really hurt these people, man. Imagine the women that has everything since they was, especially the pretty ones, right? They got that pretty privilege. Everything's been handed to them. right? Since they can remember, now they're gonna have to go and work for it. Now they're gonna have to go and hit the corner for that food, right? OnlyFans, there was a lot of Instagram so-called influencers or whatever they call them that was hip to it. But when the shutdown happened, when the lockdown happened, and these women started losing their job, they all started, they all the regular hoes. I'm talking about your local hoe, right? Your local harlot. Now she's like, fuck it. I lost my serving job, right? Or I lost my job at the hotel or at the restaurant or wherever the hell, right? I need to pay this rent. I don't have a man because I'm a slut. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start an OnlyFans. That's when it really started taking off. When OnlyFans started really getting big is when these regular hoes started hopping on there for what? To survive. And them same bitches, all right, that was going on there to survive. Now they're bragging because they're making a little bit of money. Okay, but soon all that's gonna crash. All that's gonna come to an end. All right. So it says, behold, that's pretty much the point on that. Let me see. Salakia, I just got a special guest in the building, the brother you call, just giving a little update where we was at. We're going over this video called, I didn't even say the full title of the video that we was watching in the beginning. It's called Prepare for Starvation. America just went broke. Economists warn that the USA is near the end. And a lot of people would take heed to this guy because he's coming up, with the statistics and the numbers. The price of this is going up this percent, or the dollar is depreciating by this much, so on and so forth. But we've been telling you that. The prophets have been warning you. Fuck the economists. The prophets have been warning you. The apostles and the elders, the men of great millstone, have been warning you and still warning you. Now is the time to get right, because soon we're not going to warn. We're not going to be warning anybody anymore. Can we get Amos, Baba Kwashah? Amos, I believe it's 5 and 13. I'll pull it up on here too.
This is Amos chapter 5 and verse 13. It says, therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time.
The prudent is the ones that's been the economists. They're like they're predicting. As far as the numbers is going, they're predicting what's going to take place. We don't need to see the numbers because the Bible already tells us that this place is that the dollar is going to collapse, that the economy is going to crumble. These are all prophecies, right? We can go into the prophecies how there's not going to be any work for Egypt. We seen a glimpse of that last year. There's going to be another shutdown, and America is not going to be able to recover from another shutdown. It hasn't recovered from the first shutdown. And before the first shutdown, the economy was already through and over with, right? So imagine another one where it's complete. It was more draconian. I went to a lesson yesterday how the CDC, they said Joe Biden didn't mention quarantine camps for the high risk, but the CDC surely did, and how they're pushing draconian measures. All right. So he had two horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon. We've been telling you this and using the Bible through the Spirit and power Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. But the word prudent means to have foresight. All right. The wise shall keep silence. The watchmen shall keep silence. And why are they going to keep silence in that time?
It says, therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time.
It is an evil time. And like I quoted earlier in Ezekiel, right? Evil and only evil, behold, is come. The end is come. The end is come. It watcheth for thee. All right. Hell is moved from beneath thee to meet you at your coming. All right. That's the future of America. Okay. And anybody that's investing in society, you're an idiot, man. You don't see what's about to come. You don't see what's about to happen. But the Lord opened our eyes. That's why it says in Matthew, blessed are your eyes for they see, blessed are your ears for they hear. Because we can see what's about to come. We can see the pending destruction, the looming gloom that's to come upon this place. So we are hiding ourselves through the Spirit and power Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. You got something else?
Yeah, come. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 12. I'm going to start at verse 11. It says, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off, right? And the inhabitants, or Maktesh, that was a major merchant city back in the day, right? So it's talking about, like the brother explained, that these economists, they're looking at it like, oh shit, it's going to go down,
it's
right?
Over with. Well, it just said in the title of that video that the economist is saying that the America is coming to an end.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. It says verse 12, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leaves. That say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. And they're saying this, all right, in their minds, right, and they're shown forth in their actions, man. All right, you got people that are talking about building up here in America and so on and so forth, man. All right, talking about taking a break to build communities and families and things of that nature. We're not in the time for that, but that's them saying the Lord isn't going to come. See, if you know, just like during the time of Noah, all right, Noah knew that what rain was going to come down. So therefore he prepared himself, all right, for that. It's the same thing in this time period. So if you know that it's coming, you're going to prepare yourself. And we're doing the spiritual preparation by doing what's well-pleasing in the sight of the Lord. So then when he brings in this judgment, he'll look down upon us and be like, you know what? I'm pleased with him. I'm pleased with her. I'm pleased with him, right? And grant us mercy. It says, therefore, their goods shall become a booty, in their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. So everything that you've invested in this society, you're not going to get a benefit of it. Just like in that book of 2 Esdras, the 16th chapter, all right, it talks about them doing what? It talks about they that buy Salaki.
I get that. I was looking at it earlier, and I was going to go into it. This is 2 Esdras chapter 16, and I'll start at verse 42. He that occupieth merchandise, as he... I'll start up at verse 41. Verse 40. It says, "O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle."
That's right. And the ultimate battle is the battle of our faith. All right. It says, "Fight the good fight of faith." That's why Yahweh said, "He that endures unto the end, the same shall be saved." I'm sorry. It's quoted
Luke 18.
Yeah, Luke 18.
When the Son of Man comes, shall we find faith on the earth?
That's right. So the Lord is looking for those that have faith in Him, as the Scripture has said, by the time He returns, man. But that lets you know, the Lord even asking that question lets you know that there's a lot of people that say they believe, but when the tribulation comes, when the winds blow, it's going to be shown forth that they weren't really standing upon that rock.
Yeah, it says a friend cannot be known in prosperity, you know, but in adversity, roughly paraphrasing the scripture in the book of Sirach. So when adversity comes, we're going to see who the Lord's real friends are. Right. The ones that suffer for him, right? That no matter, it says the lambs that follow him whithersoever it goeth, man, because we're going to be persecuted, as the prophecy says, for the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, for righteousness' sake, for this word, for the testimony of Yahushai Mashiach. Then we're going to see who's really down. Right now, we can still eat. We can still drive up the street. We can go get something to drink. All right, we're not on a hit list. All right, or we are on, really, you already are on a hit list, but they're not coming for that hit list. You know, they're not trying to check names off that hit list. All right, persecution hasn't come yet. It says that we have not resisted unto blood. So right now, shit is sweet. Right now, everything is smooth. But when shit goes dry and we start being tested, then we're going to see who's really down for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And I pray and I beg that the Lord keep his courageous Holy Spirit upon us, that we endure unto the end. Because he said he has 7,000 men which will not bow down to Baal, reserved that will not bow down to Baal. You know, in the book of Maccabees, it says that they were fully resolved and confirmed within themselves that they will not eat of any unclean thing. So they chose rather to die than to profane the holy covenant. Okay, them same spirits are back on this earth today. All right, ready to die for Yahweh, already living for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And if it comes down to it, we'll die, because we love not our lives unto death. We are not our own. We were bought with a price. But you got it. Oh, no, I'm reading in this 2 Esdras. Unless you had a precept real fast?
No.
Okay, Con. This 2 Esdras chapter 16 and verse 40. It says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose."
Right, so that's being able to detach. All right, that's being able to detach from the society. And we've already been doing this spiritually, but it's going to come a point where the pressure is going to be applied. All right, like we see now, they're saying, hey, if you ain't got that injection, then shit, you won't have to lose your job. You can't travel and this and that and the third. But if you can't let go of those things, right, then you're going to get caught up in this madness, man. You're going to do something that's not pleasing in the sight of the Lord, man. You're going to fold. All right, you're going to end up bowing down to the knee of Baal, man.
Exactly.
To the image of Baal, man. So that's why the Lord, throughout the scriptures, man, he told us not to love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Scriptures like this telling us, like, look, hey, if you bind, don't even worry about it, man. If you got this invested in this society, when shit hits the fan, like you always quote that movie Heat, hey, whatever, in that movie Heat, he said that you got to be able to drop everything in 3 seconds and move, you know, roughly paraphrasing, man. But if it's certain things that we're holding on to that we ain't willing to give up, then you're going to hold on to those things and end up serving the image of Baal, right?
Come. Real quick, this is Colossians 3:2. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth.
That's right.
So that's what we're invested in, man. We're invested. Of course, we do certain things to get by, to make, to just to maneuver, in this present evil world. But our heart is not set upon that, man. Brothers have businesses. If the business burns the fuck up, then the business burn the fuck up. All right, cars, whatever it may be, even houses. It said, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. The Lord may come to you in a dream, send an angel in your dream and say, you got to get the fuck up and leave. We have to move off of faith and say, all right, I'm leaving all this shit behind. I'm leaving the comfort of my own house, and I'm taking that leap of faith and trusting Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai to guide me. All right. And then the next thing you hear is, oh yeah, martial law just ran through your fucking neighborhood the next day. Right. And the Lord got you somewhere in the cut being fed by a bird, man.
That's right.
And
once again, it made me think about the example that Yahweh Shai gave when 70 AD was coming in. All right, the Lord had told him, like, look, when you see the troops round about Jerusalem, don't go back to your crib, don't do this and don't do that, just flee. Meaning that at that time, if they saw them troops coming in, Jake had to bounce. Right, if they got caught up in trying to go back, well, let me gather this and let me gather that. Them troops was gonna come in and they was gonna mess Jake up, man. As you read in the history and what happened, man. But those that took heed unto the warning of Yahweh Shai, all right, for later on during that time when 70 AD came in, they was cool, man.
I got a quick precept. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 17. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Right. So it applied it to these times, man. Hey, if you got to go, like the brother quoted the movie Heat, when that heat is around the corner, when that flame around the corner, you got to drop everything in a minute and bounce.
Right.
Fuck the nigga woman that you've been popping every other week. All right. We got to go. All right. At that time, it is what it is, man.
Yep.
It's the end. Follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. Following the Spirit, man. Okay? But it says back in 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 42, he that occupieth merchandise as he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. So you're not putting your stock or your trust into the carnal possessions of this world. It says, he that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he should not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers, and therefore they that labor in vain.
That's right. So everything that you invest in, because you got a lot of people that's laboring right now and laboring in vain. And in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, it talks about how they're going to have that great regret. What has our pride profited us, man? Our riches with our vaunting, what has this gotten us? We have no sign of virtue to show, meaning that they were wearying themselves in the way of wickedness. They wearied themselves in hours and dedication and things that was not going to profit them at the end of the day, man. So that's why the Lord instructs us to be able to separate from this place, man. Take care of what we got to take care of, but being able to, when that time comes and we got to drop shit and go, then we already out of there, right?
Calm. You want more on that?
No, that's it.
Okay, calm.
I'll go back on the Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. It says, the great day of the Lord is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Right? So this is going into great destruction that the Lord is going to bring upon this place, man. The scriptures talk about dwelling in torments, man. All these plagues that the Lord is going to bring upon this place, right? We're trying to escape that, man, through the fear of the Lord. It says the fear of the Lord driveth away sin, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath, man. So we're trying to continue to walk in that fear of the Lord. That's how we're preparing ourselves spiritually, growing in the fear of the Lord, being more obedient, being more disciplined to please Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai.
Quick precept. Sirach 33 and 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again he will deliver him.
That's right, man. So there it goes right there. Like it says in the book of Psalms, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai delivereth them out of them all. Right? So the brother was going into the famine that's coming and everything like that. Hey, it says that we're going to laugh at famine. All right? We're going to mock at famine, man. So the Lord is going to cover us, man. It says that his bread shall be sure. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yeah, well, that's really what I was trying to go into, because this is really going into the famine. He said the title, or in the video, he said a crash is coming where people is going to be begging for food. You know, so if you can grab that precept, and before you get that, let me get this in the book of Jeremiah. I think it's 50.
You want the one that I quoted? The bread. Sure.
Yeah, Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah 33. I got it.
Yeah, this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 35. Let me pull it up on here. Salakia, Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 35. It says, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. Here's the point, verse 36. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. Yep, I'll continue to read on. It says, a sword is upon their house, their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. And when you go into that word treasures, it means the storehouses. All right. A sword is upon their storehouses. So your different Walmarts and your grocery stores and your supermarkets. A sword is upon it. Right? And they shall be robbed. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. So the Lord is bringing a famine, right? The Lord is bringing a famine of food, and he's going to bring a drought, right? But what are we going to, someone may ask, well, what are you going to do? You're in America too. We're going to trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, right? But that's it on that.
This is Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 16. It says, he shall dwell on high. I'm going to start at verse 15. I'm going to start at 14. The sinners of Zion are afraid. Fearfulness has surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell in the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burnings, man? So when this judgment is being brought, right, the wicked of our people, the sinners, the hypocrites, right, they're going to be like, oh, snap, man, how am I going to be able to deal with this, man? How am I going to be able to suffer through this? They ain't going to be able to, man. It says, verse 15, he that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppressions, that shaketh his hands from holding of bribes, that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood, and shutteth his eyes from seeing evil, he shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munitions of rocks. Bread shall be given him. His waters shall be sure. So that's right, man. So those that are walking uprightly in the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai through their faith, it says that what, man? Our bread, our water is going to be sure, meaning it is guaranteed, right? Like it says in Numbers, I think 23 and 13 or 13:23, something like that. It says that the Most High is not a man that he shall lie, neither is he the son of man that he shall repent. Shall he say and shall it not come to pass? Do the words of the Lord return unto him void? No, right? So if the Lord says that our bread is going to be sure, then we're going to be cool. That's why we're going to be able to laugh and mock when famine comes, according to the prophecy, man.
Yeah, in Isaiah 65, it says that my servant shall, I'll just read it. I quote it a lot and I hardly ever read it. There's Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 13. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat. But can you get that, find out where that's at? Their storehouses shall suddenly be empty. It's in Second Esdras. Isaiah 65 and 13, it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall be the key word is servants. All right, in order to be eaten when everybody else is hungry, when there's a sword upon the storehouses and a drought upon the water, we're going to have to be serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai in truth and in sincerity, as it says in the book of John. All right, it says, behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. As it says in the book of Second Esdras, the 2nd chapter, it says, the heathen shall envy thee, but thou shalt be able to do nothing against thee. For thou shalt have abundance and be merry, and your children shall not see hell. So we're trusting Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, as we read in the Habakkuk earlier, the just shall live by his faith. And it was just 4:11. Call out Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, but you got it.
God, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
Shall suddenly, the full store. And really, it's not even really full anymore. We seen that last year. All right, people are stabbing each other with wine bottles because there ain't no more toilet paper left, man. And since that first shutdown, we've never seen the stores replenished as it was before. Right, everything is rationed out. Okay, how much more when another shutdown happens, man, with this new variant, and you know, they're gonna throw out all these different lies and shit so that they can put fear in you, so that they can take away more of your rights, man. Okay, that's it on that.
That's it on that.
Trumpet shall give it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You had anything else?
Yeah, I got
okay,
one.
Go ahead.
And then I can finish on that Zephaniah.
Yep.
All right, but this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, and verse I'm gonna start at verse 20. All right. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. So those that don't have this word, all right, the true doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, taught by the apostles of Great Millstone on down, they don't have the light. And that's why it says in the book of Zephaniah, Lord, will we get back to that, but it talks about that they're going to walk like blind men, man. All right? And they're going to grope.
Yeah, noonday.
Yep, exactly, man. So here it is at noonday, right? That's when the light is at its brightest, right? That's when the sun is at its peak. So the light is out there, but they're groping in confusion, man. And that's what's happening right now. And as we get closer to these times to come, there's going to be even greater confusion because they're going to feel these plagues touching them, man.
And there's not going to be nothing they can do to stop it.
Yeah.
It says the Lord has sent the plagues. Who can send them back?
That's right.
All right. That's why it's very important now to get on his good side and to be building that ark. Niggas see the clouds and then try to start. It's starting to rain and niggas is trying to throw some pieces of wood together. You should have been trying to build that. You should have been trying to hide yourself.
Yep.
You know, seek the Lord while he may be found.
That's right.
It says, remember the Creator in the days of thy youth before the evil days draw nigh.
That's right.
All right, and the evil days are coming very, very soon. So if you've been bullshitting, now's the time to stop bullshitting. Now's the time to get serious about this because it's not a game. It's not a joke. All right.
Yep. It says back in the book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 21, it says, and they shall pass through it, heartily be stead and hungry. And it shall come to pass, when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their power and their God and look upward. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and break it down because you got to look up some of these words to get the full sense. So it says, and they shall pass through it, heartily be stead. Meaning what? They don't have any support. They're going to be distressed, right? And hungry. So this is what's going to happen. These people are going to be distressed and hungry. But when we read in the previous verses, why? Because they have no light in them. They weren't following Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
As it says in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, what is our pride and our vaunting profited us? They're going to look at us and like, damn, we should have been doing what they was doing.
That's right. They're covered, protected, divine intervention, man. All right. Hey, like it says, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. The Lord is going to show his power just in the fact that everybody's going to be starving, but it's going to be certain men, all right, in their households that are hungry. I mean, that are eating.
Yeah, that are full.
That are full.
You know,
exactly.
that are straight, you know.
It says, and it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves, meaning be angry. All right. So you know how, hey, and that's even now. A nigga get hungry and they're talking about, man, I'm hangry, man.
Yeah.
You know, hey, they got them Snickers commercials, man. You know, when a nigga
You're not
hungry,
yourself. You're not yourself when you're hungry.
Right.
Here's
but that's true. People get hungry and they get upset, man. You know?
Yeah, and it's gonna be real bad. Well, I was reading it earlier. They're gonna start going into their neighbor's house and seeing what the fuck you got in your cabinets and what you got left in your fridge.
That's right.
You know, it says that they shall search the house and have no pity upon their neighbor because the lack of bread.
That's right. And you have accounts in that in the scriptures. You can go into 2 Kings, right? When the Assyrians were besieging Israel, the northern kingdom, man. And that siege went on for 3 years, man. Starved Jake out for 3 years. All right. So that was horrible, man. That wasn't nothing light. Dove's dung being sold, man. Imagine that. They were selling Dove's dung for a certain amount of silver.
Yeah.
So people were going around, a bird was shit on the ground, and they were scraping it up, collecting it.
It was expensive too.
And selling it, right?
Yeah.
Nah, you can't get this. You ain't got enough bread for this.
That was a delicacy.
Right.
They show you that in the movie with Denzel, Book of Eli. You know, it's gonna become a barter system. You know, you start trading stuff.
That's right.
Let me get some shampoo. It was gonna start trading their daughters, man, trading their wives off. You know, giving their children up. All right, so that they can eat. I can't take care of them, so I'm gonna give them to this person. All right, that person's a creep, a weirdo. All right, but you at least they're gonna be fed. You're gonna be fed and go about your business, man.
Yep.
That's how bad it's gonna get.
Yep.
That's how crucial. When shit crashes, everybody's gonna crash with it. besides the men of the Lord.
Yeah.
All right, besides his servants, the one that's been crying day and night.
That's right. I was going to add, there's an actual account in the Josephus, a woman called Mary. They call it the story of Mary of Beelzebub. Right now, this woman, she was a prestigious woman. Right, she came from an astute family, so to speak, or a well-renowned family. Right now, she had went over to Jerusalem. I forget what it said. The reason was, but here it is. She had this high status. Then the famine was breaking out. Right, the famine was breaking out. It got so bad that men were running in her house on a daily basis looking for food. And they weren't even finding nothing, man. But they were still running in there every single day, man. All right, no telling what else they could have been doing, right? But as they were going in the crib, it came to the point to where one day, all right, they smelled something cooking, right? They smelled something cooking. They ran up in the crib. They was like, man, we smell you cooking something. What you got? Man, the woman, she had boiled one of her children, man. She boiled her son, right? And I believe it said that the son was like under like it was a pretty much like a newborn or something like that, man. Boiled her son, man. Ate half of him, right? Offered it to the men. They were so disgusted. They was like, oh nah, they damn near threw up. That's what it says in the actual account in the Josephus, man. And then she kept the other half of the baby in a sack to eat for later, man. Yeah. So you got to think about how bad does it get for a woman to do that to her child that she went through 9 months to give birth of, man.
Right, and even with back in that second Esdras, the 6th chapter that you was quoting, it talks about the two women, and both of them had sons. Kings, yeah, that's a what's that? Esdras? Oh yeah, Second Kings. Yeah, Second Kings. The two women, they both had sons, and they came to agreement that we're gonna eat both of our sons. Today we will eat my son. Tomorrow we'll eat your son. So one day, all right, they ate one of the woman's sons. Then the next day, the woman that still had her son, she dipped out. She dipped out, man. And that was something the king of Israel at that time, he heard that story. He was weeping, man. To hear that, a lot of gruesome shit. We're going to see a lot of gruesome shit. The Lord is going to have to be with us, man. We not on no macho man shit. Just seen a video, picture of Sakari that niggas got bullets wrapped around, looking like damn fucking fake-ass G.I. Joe, G.I. niggas and shit, right? We not on no shit like that, man. We trusting in Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Going back to the Habakkuk that we started with, the just shall live by his faith. Right. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, man. All right.
I got one real quick before getting on that. Isaiah, this is Jeremiah 19:9, and it says, and I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat everyone the flesh of his friend, and the siege and straightness wherewith their enemies, and they that seek their lives shall straighten them. So this is written in Jeremiah the 19th chapter, and this is going into what happened when the Babylonians came in, man. All right, that's why in the book of Lamentations it talks about the pitiful woman have sodden their children, man. Meaning that they boiled their sons, man. So we went through some gruesome times, and this is gonna be way worse. So don't take the wrath of the Lord lightly, man. The Lord will have a nigga eating his children because he's that angry at him, man.
Right. Well, he gonna be eating himself. It says that also in Isaiah. It says that he shall snatch on the one hand and still be hungry. Yeah. That's how bad it's gonna get. Imagine how hungry you are. You start looking at your finger as a chicken tender, man. That's how bad it's gonna get. And it's not gonna sink into niggas' minds until it's actually here. So the Tawadi Yahweh Shem Yahushai for giving us the eye salve and the prudence to foresee these things. And I don't want to we're doing what we need to do to hide ourselves from the coming calamities.
That's right.
But you got it.
Finishing on this Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 21. And they shall pass through it hardly bestead and hungry, meaning distressed and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves, meaning being angry, and curse their king and their power and look upward. Right? So these people gonna be distressed. They're gonna be upset, all right, at the government for allowing them to be brought in this predicament, man, for forsaking them, right? And they're gonna be upset with Jesus, man. Yep. Why are you allowing me to go through this, man? Jesus, why?
Yeah, Buddha crying. All these, I don't know what the trend is. All these nigga women got a Buddha, now got a Buddha chain and shit. Or a damn unk around. Don't even know. That's how stupid and fickle these women are, man. But the Lord said in the book of Judges, go and call upon your gods and see if they will deliver you. That's right. And that's also going to be something to magnify the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, because all these other false gods is going to be called upon and ain't nobody going to be delivered. That's right. All right. But the true men of the Lord, that's following Yahweh by Shem Yahushai in truth and in sincerity, and has departed from iniquity, we're gonna call, not there, because Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. All right. That's what I'm leaning towards. That's what I'm going to do. I don't got nothing else to trust in. I'm not trusting in no damn gun. It says some trust in their sword, or some trust in horses, chariots, but we gonna trust in the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, man. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. Right? And that's part of how the Lord's name is going to be exalted.
That's right.
You know?
It says, and they shall look unto the earth, and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness, man. All right, so they're going to be in pure confusion with no hope, man. And in the book of 2nd Esdras, it talks about how the Lord will leave them in the plagues, all right, because they sinned against them, roughly paraphrasing, man. So that's the Lord, like, watching you go through it and just leaving you in it, man. Yep. You know how, man, you know how it feels to be in that situation, no hope?
Yeah,
like,
hopeless.
The comfort is, no matter what we go through, we have hope in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to deliver us. These people that haven't been serving the Lord, man, all right, the scriptures even say the Most High heareth not sinners. But him that doeth the will of the Most High, him he heareth.
Yeah.
These people haven't been serving the Lord. So when they cry out unto the Lord, he's not going to hear him. That's why it says in Jeremiah 11:11, the Lord will bring an evil upon them which they shall not be able to escape. And though they cry out unto me, I will not hearken unto them, man.
Yeah, you quote about 4 or 5 precepts that I already went into. It's all through the Spirit. And also in Proverbs, he said, I will laugh at your calamity because you refuse my counsel.
That's right.
You refuse to listen to the men of the Lord. His counsel is what? The men that he has set up to speak his words. He said, I have pastors according to my own heart. You know, so those men are out on the highways and byways warning you, blowing the trumpet, saying that evil is coming. And if you don't take heed, your blood is going to be upon your own hands. That's and you're going to die in your own iniquity, man, as it says in the book of Ezekiel.
Mm-hmm. Back in Zephaniah 1:16, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Mm-hmm. So the Lord is going to allow these people to go through these things. Why? Because they didn't turn back into Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, talking about our people, man. So that's why it says, all the sinners of our people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us, man. So now we're in the time, just like Yahweh Shai said, unless you repent, ye shall all likewise perish. See, a lot of our people didn't believe that they were actually going to perish for these things, man.
Yeah, they thought that the Lord would do neither good nor evil.
That's right.
It says in Amos.
That's right. It says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. And that speedy riddance is an annihilation.
Yeah, quick annihilation.
That's right, man. So that's what the Lord is going to do. And the Lord is going to start off what? He's going to bring these plagues.
Incrementally break this place down.
Incrementally break it down. And if you hear to the missiles, and the Lord really got it out for you, man. Because if you hear till the missiles come, it's either the Lord really hates you or you're there for salvation, man. Yeah. No in between.
Yeah, it's one or the other. Yeah. It's not like you're going to escape on a boat
right.
and you in the ocean floating while America's getting blown. And even if you are, there's going to be niggas, well, shit, it says it's going to be a great earthquake. Your ass, get swallowed up by Leviathan or swallowed up by a big-ass wave and drown. Drowning is a terrible death.
The water's going to be polluted and it's going to be all types of stuff going on, man.
You don't want to be on the earth, plain and simple. No matter where you're at, all right? The earth is going to reel to and fro like a drunkard. So even if your ass is in Australia, you're going to feel the shaking. In China, you're going to feel the shaking, man. You know? So we're hoping to be on the chariot standing on the sea of glass. All right? We're hoping to get the victory over the beast and his image and his mark.
That's right.
You know? But you got anything else?
Nah, that's it.
All right, so having that said, man, Adawan Ratazah, that was edifying. Going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the true, holy, powerful, and mighty name of the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai is the true, holy, powerful, and mighty name of his only begotten Son, our Lord and our Savior. Rakakwadash is the Holy Spirit that speaks through us, that allows us to rightly divide the word of truth and teach the word correctly and directly. The Thamashanaka lies according to Sharala, get double honors to the elders of Israel, being the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And Shalom Wahab Labaki Arshaya Sharala, which is peace and love to the elect of Israel. Shalom, my young brothers, keep on pushing, stay sober, stay diligent, stay faithful, stay prayed up. Salvation draweth nigh and redemption's nearer than we believe. Shalom.